Hi, welcome to this video, and this is a first look at Redout 2. Now, it's available on multiple platforms. This is the PC version from Steam that I'm running here, but I believe it is also available on PlayStation and Xbox platforms, and will be coming to the Switch at some point in the future. So, PC version we're looking at here, and first thing I do need to say with regard to this is the first half hour or so was not much fun with Redout 2. I have to be quite candid. I had 3 Crash 2 desktops with Unreal Engine 4 issues. After the first half hour, I've not had any since, but it was a bit frustrating to get 3 within the first half hour. The second thing is, given that it is an Unreal Engine 4 title, it doesn't seem brilliantly optimized, I will be perfectly honest with you. What you are looking at here is medium graphics settings across the board, so it is the medium graphics preset that I'm using for these, and I could not go any higher than that without basically hammering the hell out of the frame rate. So to get a solid 60 frames per second, and I'm running a GTX 1660 Ti, I had to use medium settings. It doesn't look terrible, but you know, it does crack along a fair old pace, and setting the graphics defaults any higher than that, what I basically found was, particularly when you hit boost or the boost gates, you got some really bad stuttering in there. Having dropped the prefix down to, the preset for graphics down to medium, I can get a solid 60 frames per second out of it. So your mileage may vary. Obviously, you may have a more beefy graphics card than me. If you've got something less than a 1660 Ti, have to be perfectly honest, unless you're going to live with settings below medium, you might want to look at picking it up on console. But again, with the caveat, I don't know what it runs like on console. I've not tried the console versions. Hopefully the console versions suffer a little bit less with the crashiness as well. Okay, that aside, what's it like as a title? Well, really good fun, being perfectly honest, is my first impression. It is very much a kind of FX0 or F-Zero, yes, I believe it was F-Zero, it was called, Wipeout Strike kind of clone, but it's not exactly the same as Wipeout. So from the original Redout, weapons are gone. This is all about speed, it's all about racing. You get quite a bit of customization, you get that for both performance of your anti-grav racer and also aesthetics. You can play around with and change on that as well. There's a good range of anti-grav craft that you can play around with, and there's a good range of locations and tracks. I've barely scratched the surface in the couple of hours or so I've had with it so far. The one thing I would say is there is quite a colossal difficulty spike until you understand what you need to do with the third part of the tutorial. First 2 parts of the tutorial are just about flying your craft, that's not too bad. The third one is where you get to grips with the boost mechanisms. And basically there are 3 boost mechanisms you've got here. You've got your standard boost, you've got a hyper boost, and you then have your boost gates. And you're not going to have an easy time getting past this third tutorial on boosting unless you understand 2 things. 1, boosts stack. So if you hit hyper boost as you go through a boost gate and then engage your manual boost, that's where you go really quite ludicrously fast. The other thing you need to understand is that when you boost, your temperature will rise and that will then start overheating, but at the point that starts overheating, that's when your craft integrity starts to drop. So the boosting, the manual boost, is kind of a 2-stage thing. To get the most out of it, you have to hit the boost to the point that your craft is over, or your engine is overheating, and then basically you got to wait and keep boosting until your integrity, your hit points for your anti-grav racer, gets down to a level that you're willing to risk it to, and you then let off. And you stack all of those together, the 3 boost types and this kind of double boost gauge, your craft integrity and your overheating together, to get the most out of it. The thing is, That's not really explained in the tutorial at all. All it does in the tutorial is say, hey look, you've got a manual boost button that you can use all the time, and you've got a hyper boost button that fills up after a certain period of time. And that's it, that's the only explanation. Without figuring this out or reading it somewhere or watching a video, you're just going to sit there getting really frustrated with this third tutorial, which is bonkers because the actual beginning league races that follow on from that are actually far easier than the boost races themselves. One of the nice things I do like about Redout is that basically as you jump over sections of the tracks, and most of the tracks will have differing sections, what you've effectively got to do is take control of your craft in mid-air where the anti-grav side of things isn't working. So that's quite a challenge, particularly with some of the more technical courses and layouts that you'll come to grips with. You've also got to basically control the actual nose and the alignment of your craft if you want to get the most out of it. So as you're going up really quite severe slopes, you have to pull the nose up, and as you're going down drops, you have to push the nose down to get the most out of it. Otherwise your craft's not using its anti-grav motors to the best of its ability. The main thing, however, is the handling's really nicely done. It's really intuitive, it works really well. People coming from the likes of Wipeout won't really have any big problems getting to grips with it. It's not like, however, you've got the air brakes per se. You've got a kind of strafe, which I suppose is trying to work a bit like an air brake, but it doesn't rotate the craft quite as much as it does in Wipeout. It more just moves it from side to side. But it works really well, and it's really well implemented. It feels fair. There are lots of assists that you can switch on for your anti-grav craft, but annoyingly you have to get past that boost mission and complete the first 3 parts of the tutorial before you can play around with those, which is a bit odd. But overall, yeah, my first impressions of Redout 2, I paid £25 for it on PC. It's a good solid title, it's a nice anti-grav racer, it's a good alternative to Wipeout, and let's be honest, there's no real signs we're getting a new Wipeout on PlayStation anytime soon. So if you really like the combat side of Wipeout, this isn't going to be for you. But if you like the racing side of it and the speed and the trying to keep control of the craft as you're going ludicrously quickly, yeah, you're going to enjoy Redout 2. It's a good, strong title from that point of view. As I say, strong points, races well, controls are really nice, looks decent enough. The negative points are it's poorly optimized from a Unreal Engine 4 perspective, and I've had some crashes to desktop, and that silly difficulty spike on the third tutorial. It could be easily avoided simply by better explanations within the tutorial. I don't think they need to downgrade the difficulty of the tutorial too much, but what they do need to do is better explain what's going on. But overall, yeah, I personally think it's worth a punt. If you're looking for a good, solid arcade anti-grav racer, and you're missing Wipeout, or you've completed everything to do with Wipeout, it gets a thumbs up from me. It's well worth it. If you found the video useful, please do hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.